Hey, look which one I got. Look what I got.
Here, Elizabeth, go choose a pretty color that you like.
Welcome to Watch Like a Kid,
a podcast where we watch your kid shows so you don't have to.
We are your hosts, Diane and Gabrielle.
So come, be a kid with us. Hello, little butterflies.
Hi.
Welcome to the last episode of, our season 1.
Yeah, dude.
Because Miraculous has come to an end for now.
For now. It's very strong for now.
Thank you for sticking through it with us. We've had a blast. There was so much going on. There was different animation in this movie. It was a musical.
That's all I wanted, and I got it. I'm fulfilled.
There was basically a kiss, I guess.
No. There was no kiss.
There was no kiss. I'm really just angry right now with kisses in general on TV.
Oh, tell me.
So, as you guys may have known, I have been watching the X-Files as my way to escape all of this.
And you've been dealing with this will they won't they couple for how many seasons now?
7 seasons of Scully and Mulder having the best slow burn I've ever seen. And I've watched Gilmore Girls 300 times. They finally kissed, and it was the puniest, wimpiest, basically a platonic kiss.
Okay, she actually showed me this kiss. Now, granted, I've not been watching the couple. I've not been keeping up with them. It looked like a kiss that you would give someone you've been married to for 10 years. It did not look like a kiss of someone who's been holding it in for 6-7 seasons.
Yes, and I even showed you clips before that were way more intimate and intense, that were just a forehead kiss, or grabbing each other's faces, or just saying you mean so much to me.
Yeah.
That was way more romantic.
And you even showed me a deleted kiss that they apparently didn't put in, that was kind of steamy.
So
kind
steamy.
of great. And they didn't use it.
And then in the real kiss, they're there's a foot in between them. They're not facing each other.
They're
they don't,
cranking their neck.
Their hands are just by their sides, and then they kind of look sad that it happened afterward.
Yeah, they're really forlorn.
They're all right, let's go home.
It kind of felt that really wasn't what I thought it was going to be. That went a lot better in my head.
Or it was platonic, where it's just so it was New Year's Eve, and it was going into the new millennium.
Year
so
2000.
Year 2000. So they're just
should be way more hype going into year 2000. I remember going into year 2000. I was really hype. I mean, I was a child, but I was very hype.
I literally had a stuffed animal that was a big smiley face, and when you pressed it, it goes, "Welcome to the year 2000," maniacally laughing. I still have it, I think.
Oh my god!
And I remember I pressed it all year long, even after New Year's. But this kiss was just oh. It's kind of you're at a party and you're just who do I kiss? Okay, here, let me just...
It did look like they were oh, I don't have any other options.
And it was just so closed-lipped. It was the old school movies where they kiss but they don't move.
Yeah.
Their lips are just touching, but their faces aren't moving, lips aren't moving, nothing. It's just static.
And then they just... Oh, and when they're walking back, he
away.
has his arm around her, but she doesn't have his arm around him.
Yeah, so her arm is just kind of stuck in between them. And then, you know what makes me just over it all?
Huh?
I literally had to stop watching the show for a little bit. I don't even know if I can go back to it, because I was okay, what's gonna happen now? I watched 5 episodes after that. It's it never happened.
That is my biggest pet peeve with shows, when you finally have the big moment and then it's they just kind of keep going business as usual.
And the thing is the next episode, she is giving him mad flirtatious eyes. She is looking at his lips while she talks. When the camera's on her, she flits her eyes from his eyes down to his mouth. Nothing. And the storyline is just come on. And fans, when it first came out, and even now, we're saying they so belong together. They have mad chemistry. It's a big rumor whether or not the two actors got together in real life, but they basically have this undeniable chemistry from the get-go. And then it just nothing. They the writers should really utilize. They should be we need to run with this. So by the time it's season 7, it's well, the actors are kind of grown up. They probably got married, like, in real life, like, to different people, or, you know, that romance isn't there as much because they've been working together for almost a decade.
But they can fake it.
I-
Right.
But like, the writers should, I'm just so...
I'm so sorry.
And so I was really excited to watch Miraculous, Ladybug and Cat Noir Netflix movie, because the kid I watch is like, oh my gosh, they kiss at the end, and she goes wild for it.
And we have seen a kiss between Marinette and Adrian.
Yes, season 5,
and it was a good kiss.
It was pretty.
It was better than X-Files kiss.
It was
I
better
can tell you that. And these are just a couple 14-year-old kids.
Yeah, it was way more dramatic.
It was really dramatic.
Way
There was
more
an
intense.
airplane. I mean, there was an airplane.
There were stakes in it.
There was running upstairs. There was a security guard trying to peel them off. I mean,
It was leading up to a kiss. Like, you were like, oh, there's gonna be some
it
grand.
was running. It was holding the back of the head. It was everything. But in the Netflix movie, it was one of those things. And they did this in, I don't know, have you seen the movie Free Guy? Ryan Reynolds.
Oh no.
They did this in that movie too, where it's like the two romantic leads are about to like kiss, and then right before their mouths touch, it was like,
Yeah,
it's like credits. And they did that. That's how. So if you've seen that scene, parents, that is exactly what happens in The Miraculous, is where they like get right to almost kissing, and then it just goes to black before they actually kiss.
And we don't see the kiss, and yet it was still better than the X-Files kiss. Y'all, I'm sorry, I gotta keep going back to it. I know it has nothing to do with children's shows, but dear Lord, am I disappointed. And I'm single right now, so
You needed that.
oh, I really needed that.
Yeah.
A really good kiss on screen kiss.
Yeah.
I was deprived of it, so I'm. There were good things about the film, though.
There were one of them being the music.
It was a musical.
It was a musical, friends, and if you've been listening to this podcast, you know that if it's a musical, I'm here. I will stick with you. And there was music, there was singing, there was a lot of singing, a lot of songs.
Yeah, the score went pretty hard.
It went really hard. The vocalist went really hard.
It was really good. I will admit, the vocalist for Marinette, when she sings, it doesn't really go with Marinette, the character.
Yeah, her
like,
speaking voice and her singing voice are
just completely
really different. So it kind of throws you a little bit.
But she still sang
But
really well.
yeah, she's great voice. It just didn't match the character.
Gabby and I are actually petitioning for this to be a Broadway musical.
That's right. Get it on stage, get it on ice, whatever you gotta do.
Ooh, on ice would be so cool. Mr. Zag of Zag Entertainment. I can call you Jeremy, right?
We're on a first name basis. Yeah.
We've got notes. Give us a call. It would be really good because the music was pretty great. I even didn't mind when Hawkmoth sang, or Gabriel. Like, I didn't mind.
It was
and I
pretty
usually
gnarly.
Yeah,
It was a good villain song.
Yeah, I usually don't like villain songs.
Yeah, no, villain songs are always elite for me. I love villain songs.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
It had a lot of good characters. It had a little bit of like Little Mermaid bits in there,
Yeah.
some kind of Anastasia, like Rasputin kind of
Yeah,
vibe. It had, like,
Lin-Manuel creeped in with Tiki.
yeah, a little Moana kind of vibe at times. Like,
Yeah.
it really blended a lot of good aspects
Yeah.
of different music and style choices.
It definitely felt very like fairy tale musical, like your Disney princess type of singing. It was really magical.
Yes.
Oh, the animation was gorgeous.
Yeah, Paris is a real city again.
It's a real city. There's and the lights, the freaking moonlight, and oh my goodness.
The characters do look pretty different.
Yes,
though.
very different. Sometimes for the better, sometimes maybe for not.
They just look a little more American, if that makes sense. If you watch it, like the dad, Marinette's dad looks a little different. The mom looks pretty similar, and Marinette herself looks kind of odd.
Marinette looks a little weird.
Alia does look younger.
She looks younger. She doesn't look 30 anymore, although we still call her a 30-year-old in our hearts.
Yeah. Nino kind of looks the same. Adrian's just cutie as usual, but even he looks kind of...
He looks a little different. His
eyes
eyes do sparkle more.
Yeah.
And so does his mask, y'all. Literally.
Oh my god, his mask is glittery.
It's so good.
You know who looks the most different? Master Fu.
Yeah, he looks like he looks like he's on a fast.
Or like he got some plastic surgery and he got some cheek
fat
fat removal. I don't know how to say it properly, so I'm not going to say it. But he had that procedure done.
Yes, he looks a little different. He also has like more of like, yeah,
he looks like a caricature. Like his head is huge and then he has like a scrawny neck.
Yeah. I would say Chloe's like eyeshadow
really blew.
makes more sense now.
Yeah.
Like, it makes more sense with her character animation.
Yeah. She's on point.
Yeah.
Love
she looks
her.
great. And her, like, you could even see the gel crisp in her hair. Like, animation for her was on point. It's really good.
Although, not once in the film did she say it was
ridiculous.
Utterly ridiculous.
Not once.
And I was really sad about that.
It was really sad.
But it was really cool. Gabby and I looked it up, and for the movie, a lot of the voice actors for the show voiced the characters in the movie.
Yes.
So it was really, like, at first, they kind of sounded a little different, and then we weren't quite sure, because some characters sounded the same.
Yeah. So I think maybe there's some different, some same.
Yeah. So it was. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Technically, it's not a canon film. So when we start getting into details of what we liked and disliked about the story line, we had to kind of remind ourselves that this is like supposed to be like a standalone thing, which as a parent or caregiver or someone who has to watch this with a child, I think that is actually kind of okay in some ways. Yeah. I can see why they did it that way. So if you just want to throw on Miraculous, the movie is fine because it kind of does the entire story arc.
Yeah. And honestly, if you are like, I can't watch this entire show with my kid, but I'll like watch the movie, you'll get a good gist of what the show is. You're gonna miss a lot of the cute stuff like spats on.
Yeah.
And claws out. But you'll get like the essence of the characters. They're pretty much similar. I think the Marinette in this version is a little less scattered. I guess I'm thinking like in the show, like the way she acts around Adrian is like really like frazzled all the time or whatever. And I guess in this, she seems a little more like little toned down.
Well, we discussed it while we were watching the movie that we felt like in the film they didn't show enough scenes of Adrian and Marinette hanging out, getting to know each other.
They had a montage. There was like a moment where I guess they touch hands and blush, and then I guess he was like telling her about his mom. Like we saw a moment like that, but it was a montage and it was very fast, and that's all we really got.
Yeah, and we saw them at like a fair together for like half a second before mayhem happened. We got a really, really good view of Cat Noir and Ladybug really hitting it off, and getting to know each other and kind of getting romantic with it.
The Cat Noir Ladybug dynamic is a lot better. Cat Noir definitely acts way more like a 14-year-old in this movie.
Way more.
He is 14.
So it starts off where they are getting their superpowers.
Yes.
I really liked it because that meant we saw the origin of Hawkmoth.
Yes. How
he came to have the Miraculous, why he started using it, the very first time he used it, and everything. So then we saw Marinette and Adrian get chosen, which was different than the way it was chosen in the series. And I liked it better in the movie because Master Fu was like, no, I need to pick it. But the Kwamis kind of like escaped Master Fu and they went and found who they thought was best.
Yeah.
And even Master Fu was like, teenagers, really?
Yeah.
Because in the show, everyone just kind of accepts things a little too easily. Even Marinette was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I can act like it didn't exist. She chucked Tiki out the window.
Oh, Tiki was like, did a whole rapping musical number about how you are Ladybug. And she was still like, yeah, no.
Which, honestly, so when she first meets Cat Noir as Ladybug, he's like, hey, you can be my sidekick.
Which is very different from the Adrian we get in the show. Because the Adrian we get in the show is just totally down for Ladybug to be like queen lady, like all hail Ladybug, like don't worry about me. In this movie, he's like,
he's a 14-year-old.
He is a 14-year-old boy. He thinks that he's tough guy. He thinks that he doesn't even really feel like he needs a sidekick, but it's just kind of fun to have someone to boss around. Like it's a really interesting dynamic. It's like it's all for fun. He's not like mean or anything.
No, but he is being like, oh, I'm a 14-year-old who suddenly has like this superpower type thing.
Yeah.
And it makes way more sense rather than, oh, I'm just happy to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to be a model anymore.
I
want to be a normal boy.
Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like we didn't get much of Adrian / Cat Noir. We got a big scene where Marinette turns into Ladybug.
Yeah.
But we do not get a Cat Noir scene.
No, he doesn't throw his back out in this movie.
He doesn't even really, we don't even get like a big like show of it.
No.
He's just in his suit.
He's just in his suit.
We don't even get a claws in.
No.
when he transforms back into Adrian, and I'm kind
I
of
really think that if maybe because this is a musical, it would have been cute to have just like mini songs. Maybe like it didn't have to be the whole like black claws out. We could have changed it,
Yeah.
but still had a moment where it was like,
yeah. I mean, they were able to have Plag have like massive stinky farts.
he definitely farted more in this movie, yeah. And the cheese
And
looks
is
not
that what
appetizing in
yeah.
this movie.
Is that what Camembert actually looks like? In the TV show, they make it look delicious.
Yeah,
Here, it was like green and stinky and moldy,
it was
and
bad.
it made it. When I saw that part, I was like, okay, this could be good for like little boys to watch too. They find that funny.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
got farts.
yeah.
He's a superhero. I will say one part I didn't like about her transforming and stuff, and like suddenly, because since this is showing it from the beginning, it's the first time Paris has seen superheroes really, and so I remember they're like, oh, she's not. It's not just like a hero. She's a shiro, and I'm like, she can just be a hero. That's
Yeah,
a girl.
that was kind of.
It made me angry that you can't be a superhero. You're a shiro, like a she hero. I'm like, no, she's just a hero. It made me a little angry. I was just like, I don't think that was necessary. It wasn't even funny. I do like how at first they don't get along, because in the show they work so well as a team right off the bat,
Mhm.
and I was like, no.
Yes,
That's
and
not-
so they
no
were
way.
like very bumbly in the beginning. They're a little fumbly. They're like not working well together. They're making mistakes.
And then Master Fu comes along in a disguise, and he's like, better together, and then we get the best song ever.
This song, y'all, they are dancing in the moonlight. They're dancing on the clouds. They don't need a magic carpet to be whisked away into the sky. They're Cat Noir and Ladybug. It is the most romantic thing I've ever seen in my freaking life. The way they look at each other.
A lot of the things in the movie are quite similar to the show, which I think is nice. Keeps
Yeah.
with the consistency, and I mean, they could have really done it completely different. So I really like that they're trying to stick with the original. They're just trying to compact all 5 seasons kind of into one movie, as well as
Yeah.
like rounding out the plot, which in the series it's not yet.
Yeah, in the series, there's not really closure yet, and in the movie, I think they really did try to get closure.
While still leaving it ambiguous.
Yeah,
It was really odd, but like, so Marinette is still clumsy, kind of a klutz, doesn't really have any friends. Alia's like a new transfer or something. It doesn't really, you can't tell if it's the first day of school or not. It's just Marinette
It's a little
doesn't want to go to
confusing.
school.
Like they're acting like she's going to this new school and she has no friends, but then she gets there and it's like everyone knows her name already.
Yeah,
So
I mean, they're all
confused
kind
by
of
that.
yeah, and they're all like pointing at her, making fun of her.
They're like, "Oh, Marinette, she's such a mess," and I'm like, "What does she even do? She didn't even do anything. She's
she's
literally
just-
just walking in the hallway, and kids are like, "Oh, Marinette, what?"
She's quiet.
What's wrong with
Yeah,
her?
that's why I never quite got why Chloe like hated her and picked on her.
I
She calls her
know.
Marinella.
and I don't know what that y'all. If y'all know what
I
that
liked-
means, let me know.
I liked Baker Girl
Is it
better.
like Cinderella coded or something?
I liked it when she.
Yeah,
when
Baker
she,
Girl is better. Which honestly, it's still kind of not great because who doesn't want to live in a freaking bakery in
Yeah.
Paris with a freaking high rise, not a high rise, but like a terrace on the
Yeah.
roof.
Maybe I liked it better when she used her full name too, because with that Chloe voice,
Yeah.
Marinette Duping Chang.
it's great. And then same with Adrian, we see that he's like a sad, lonely boy, but he's like in a library just studying. We don't really get to see that full background of the reason why he's like shut off from all the other students.
Do we even see that he's a model in this movie?
No, which
I
I'm
don't
kind of
think we
okay
even
with.
No, I kind of miss the ads. I miss the ads everywhere. I miss being bombarded with the cologne ads.
That
you know what I'm
was
saying?
small town Paris.
Come on, where's our carbs and cologne? Like, I miss it. I thought, because I guess y'all, it just was so funny to me that because he's 14, we have to keep this in mind. It's not like he's a grown adult.
Yeah.
He's a 14-year-old kid. And could you imagine just walking around and there's this 14-year-old boy all over Paris that you have to be bombarded with all the time? I would be so confused about the world I live in. And then if you're like in class with him and you walk outside and there's the bus and there's my 14-year-old classmate's face on it.
I mean, do you think that's what it felt like to be an Abercrombie model back in the day?
Maybe.
I didn't like how in the movie we don't see Chloe interact with Adrian at all.
Yeah, we don't get a sense that Chloe likes Adrian. We don't get a sense that they've known each other all their lives, which apparently is like what's canon.
And it makes sense in the series that Chloe hates Marinette because she knows Marinette likes Adrian.
Mm-hmm.
But in this, Chloe doesn't say anything about Adrian, does not try
We
to
don't really
go
get
up to him. We
Yeah.
don't. She's just kind of there.
We don't really get the sense that Adrian is the boy that he is.
Yeah, like the popular, like
Yeah.
everybody kind of wants him, but he's like a humble.
Right.
Like I see that Nino starts talking to him randomly, but
Mhm.
it's kind of as if they've already known each other and they were
Yeah.
friends.
But I will say, because it seems like, is the Gabriel Agreste line not that big? But when we do see it, I do like this scene. It was very like Cruella coded, where we walk into their house and he has all his people working for him and like making them dresses.
They're in an
and doing
atelier.
stuff.
They're in like a separate building.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't
That was like
catch
his own atelier.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. And
Yeah.
I think that I wish that maybe if they wanted to do something different, they could have really leaned in on like the details that we don't really have time to go into in the show.
Yeah.
So like, how does dad's business run and like things like that? Like that would be really interesting, especially because Marinette wants to be like a fashion designer and like and it's interesting too because Adrian's a model and his dad is a fashion designer. So like, how would those worlds intertwine more? I think but maybe I just like watched The Devil Wears Prada and I just kind of want to see more scenes like that. I don't know.
Well, I also really liked it's the tiny details like you're talking about. So an example of that they actually did put in the film was Marinette got there's like a dramatic scene where one drop of a liquid falls onto Chloe's sweater and she goes, "Did you just get something on my Gabriel Agreste sweater?" And it kind of like shows like, oh, big brand, oh, nobody else has it. And then Marinette also says like, "Oh my goodness, is somebody else wearing a Gabriel Agreste sweater that looks like yours? Look over there." And Chloe turns and like it allows Marinette to like kind of like run away.
Yeah, I forgot that scene. Yeah,
little details like that. But you're right. If they had like kind of had that in the film more.
I think they maybe abandoned it. It was like in the beginning and they kind of abandoned that.
What
which I get. You only have 90 minutes. But.
Yeah, true. And like we were able to see with Gabriel's background more when exactly Emily died, disappeared, went underground, and it's different than the series.
Okay, but the series is even different than the series. Like the series,
we're never gonna get a proper origin.
Literary Bible homie, explain.
I do like how in the film he has the Miraculous and he doesn't use it yet. Like we see him use it for the first time and he wants to make this wish. He wants to bring his wife back, and that is when the Kwame says like, "You can't. You need this Ladybug and Cat Noir," and it shows the reason why he started the mayhem was because if there's mayhem, it activates Ladybug and Cat Noir's Kwames.
Oh,
that's why Master Fu suddenly was like, "Oh no, Hawkmoth! They're he's risen or whatever," and then you see that he's just embracing the darkness.
Yeah.
Whereas the series, he's just already dark, and then he just goes more and more into it.
Yeah.
And in the film, it's also great because the more he is Hawkmoth, the more disheveled he is as Gabriel.
Mm-hmm. He
Gabby
starts to look
liked it.
kind of rugged. He starts to look.
Gabby liked it.
I didn't hate it.
Didn't hate it. Although you were really confused because there was a picture of Gabriel in the hallway and he had like long hair.
Like he looked like he was like some like.
They didn't need that.
I don't even know.
He looked like a hippie.
Yeah, like
he didn't need that.
I literally go, "Who's that?" I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah, we had to like rewind. I was like,
"You're like that's Gabriel." It's like, oh.
It's like that's when they were young,
Yeah.
But then it doesn't really. They had that detail, but to me, I feel like you would have had to have watched the show to realize that's why Adrian is so closed off from everyone, and why his dad is so, "You need to get home right now," kind of protective, because he's just kind of like a loner boy, but like like why we get he's sad, but it feels like there's more to it, and if you hadn't seen the series, I don't feel like you would understand that. But the music's great.
Music slaps.
Because, like, when he is Cat Noir, he has his own, like, sad boy song.
He is the best sad boy. Now, have I told you the difference between a sad boy and a moody boy?
Do tell
These
us.
are just different.
We're about to learn. Everyone's take notes.
I love a sad boy. I do not love a moody boy. So, you seen The Summer I Turned Pretty?
Yeah.
Okay, so the moody boy is the blonde guy. You already know Conrad. Conrad's the moody boy.
Yeah.
A difference between a sad boy and a moody boy. Sad boy, Peter Parker. Everyone knows Peter Parker, okay? Sad boy.
Sad, he is.
Conrad from The Summer I Turned Pretty, moody boy. The difference is, a sad boy tells you why he's sad. He communicates. He goes, "I am sad because." He doesn't try to hide it. He doesn't act ambiguously and weirdly. He doesn't. A moody boy is moody without reason. So you don't really know what's going on. He just comes in, throws the canvas on the ground and walks off, and you're like, what's going on? Or he comes in and says something kind of mean, and then he like walks off, or he comes in and doesn't give you a gift on your birthday, and then he walks off, and no one knows what's going on. A sad boy would explain what's going on. And Adrian in Cat Noir is a sad boy, because he always tells you why he's sad. He always tells you what's going on. A moody boy, you would be like, dude, you need to get it together. Like, you need to, what's going on?
That does make sense. Yeah.
And so I can't.
And he
with
sings
moody
about
boys,
being
but I love
sad.
okay, Gilmore Girls, Jess Mariano, love you. You're a moody boy.
Moody boy.
You're a moody boy. He never tells us why he's sad. I love Jess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't normally like moody boys, so that's a lot, Jess. It's a high praise. Yeah. But that's what I mean by moody boy. But I love Adrian because he's just a little sad boy. Like, he tells us why he's sad, and so I feel like,
and he's actively trying not to be sad.
Yes, and he like does things to try and fix it or help it, and he doesn't like push his sadness onto others. He's just very like, oh man, like, I really was hoping to be with Ladybug, or oh man, like, I'm really bummed because like my mom isn't here. Like, he like it says all these things. He like communicates to his friends, and he's like, man, and I don't know, I really appreciate that. Like, I just feel like I don't mind. So just if you hear me in the future getting upset because a man is not happy, I don't mean that men can't show their emotions. I mean, I probably mean the man is a moody boy instead of a sad boy, and we're just like, why are you upset? You're not talking. You're not saying anything. But anyway.
Yeah, because he even has a small scene with Nino where Nino's like, come to the fair with us. And Adrian's just like, oh, I can't. My father would never let me. Or, oh, I have so much work to do in the library. Yeah. And he's like, no, come on. You want to have fun. Let loose. And he goes, oh, I just don't really know if I can. Like, he's sharing that he's having this, like, kind of turmoil. Yeah. And then he just looks so happy to be at the fair. He still looks kind of uncomfortable. Right. Which is fine. He's still kind of sad. But he's, like, trying to find happiness. Yes. And I do like that. I think that's cute. Which is why I really wish we saw a little more of Adrian. We saw so much of Cat Noir and Ladybug when they're together.
Maybe it would be really cool. Jeremy's sad. For the next movie, what if it's just all from Cat Noir's perspective this time? Or Luca.
Yes. So the film did show us our ever so lovely sidekicks that I think are unnecessary, and so they don't have a part in the film, which
but they're kind of like extras in the movie.
Yeah,
like, but it's cool to see. They're Easter eggy. Like,
they're Easter eggy.
Luca. Yeah, or there's Rose. Yeah,
it took us a while to see Luca. He wasn't there till the end. Yeah, I did find it weird that there's none of them are friends with Marinette, because they kind of seem to be friends with her in the series, even though she doesn't have any good friends.
Well, I think like, that the maybe girls are kind of, she's still kind of new in school, kind of thing. Like, it's like, because I think it's like a prequel, so it's like she's maybe hasn't met everyone yet.
But the whole point, she even says, is that she had Chloe in her grade the year before.
Oh yeah, I don't really know.
So the school dynamic is weird. I don't think he understands high school girls or high schoolers in general.
Jimmy, love you. These are adults.
They're still really healthy.
Except for the Cat Noir in this movie is 14. I believe this Cat Noir is 14.
Still super healthy 14 though.
But you know what? I'll take a healthy sad boy 14-year-old. Sure. I'll take it.
Yes, because this if young boys do watch this, it will show them that, oh, you can want to be a superhero, and it's fine being a superhero, but you can also see that, like, sometimes your partner is the one that's going to save the day, and you just need to help them. Because he does learn real quick, because they get into a sticky situation the first time they kind of work together, and then he suddenly realizes, like, yep, I'm fine being a sidekick. What do you need? Like, afterward, he kind of gets humbled.
It's a good arc for him. It was really cute.
He gets humbled, yeah. Yeah. My favorite part of the film, which I think might be yours too, is when Ladybug and Cat Noir are, like, dancing on a cloud.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And he's serenading her, and then she goes, I love someone else. But the thing is we only had one montage of Marinette and Adrian.
Yeah, and she literally says, my heart belongs to someone else, as if she's in a relationship. Woman, you don't owe Adrian anything.
And the thing with the movie is that it was showing way more romance with Ladybug and Cat Noir, where Ladybug seems so much more into Cat Noir than she seems into Adrian when she's Marinette.
It had a whole play fight scene. It was very flirty.
And she was, like, reciprocating.
Yeah. And so I would be confused. So, like, I guess I think in the show, Ladybug does not really give Cat Noir almost anything. Like,
no, nothing.
So as Cat Noir, kind of understand why he's just like, I'll just wait.
Yeah.
In the movie, he does get more crushed and heartbroken, but I get it because she's kind of leading him on.
In the film,
Yeah.
for sure. And she literally, it doesn't really have that back and forth that we see in the series where she's like,
Right.
oh, Cat Noir maybe, you know?
No, she's definitely like, Cat Noir.
Cat Noir. It's just, there are some sort of plot holes. I think it is because they're trying to fit everything in.
I think so too. I don't think they should have tried for closure. I think they should have just did the prequel thing and then left it open.
Because even with the Hawkmoth scenes, we don't see her use her. She doesn't have a lucky charm. She doesn't say Miraculous Ladybug to fix Paris until the last fight. And once the Akuma leaves the person, like they save the day, it just flies away and she doesn't catch it. And
but
we
she
also
does say bye-bye little butterfly. That was nice.
No, that was at the end though.
Yeah.
When she did catch it, she only caught one. But you see another montage where they're fighting multiple monsters, but like she's not fixing Paris afterwards. She doesn't have a lucky charm. Like,
speaking of lucky charm, it was really funny. There's this funny line where Tiki's like giving her the yo-yo, which is like, yeah, and she's like, a yo-yo, what am I gonna get next, to cheese it? And I like laugh because like the lucky charm is always something super random, and I'm like, you might get a freaking cheese it out.
You know, who knows what
Don't be careful what you ask for.
She's like, I'm in this skin tight suit and now you're gonna give me a yo-yo. The yo-yo was really cool though. It was like
it was like up. And it was like very like Spider-Man this movie.
She did swing from the rafters and from like bridges.
Yeah, across the Miraculous first. Like she was swinging.
Buildings, and the way she was like holding on with the yo-yo made it was very Spider-Man.
It was very Spider-Man.
It's because the French people just accept superheroes so quickly and easily. Suddenly
in this movie it's very cool. Like,
suddenly they're teaming up. Once they sing the song where they're stronger together, they're suddenly like, I think it's like BMW sponsored this movie or something. There's like these like hybrid electric cars that they're like, they have one black and one red, and it's like they're going to these events and like posing for the cameras. They all just really accepted.
Yeah, it was really
pretty easily.
It was.
But with the monsters, we just get like one more montage scene where they're fighting them. Like we don't even see them. The way they get akumatized is different than the series.
Yeah.
And we don't see Hawkmoth giving them a superpower. They just kind of become something. So we don't really see them as a villain. We don't really understand why they're villains. Like, I feel like we really missed out on that. Because in the series, it is really cute to see, like, why they become... Like, during the montage, somebody was, like, a giant evil croissant. I would have loved to know why.
Someone didn't get their order in time.
Yeah. We just saw the first one. He turned into a gargoyle.
Yo, we're gonna have to talk about that gargoyle.
You're right. The gargoyle. It needs its moment. It was the first and really the only akumatized villain that we really get to see in the movie. Ooh. And this man, this poor little... He looked like Andre.
He did. I thought he
looked
was
like
Andre.
Ice Cream Man.
And he was kind of like talking like Andre. Like he was like, oh.
You think maybe it was? He tried to propose to his girlfriend and she said no.
Yeah. And honestly, I could see that being like the villain origin story for a man like Andre.
Yeah. So he goes into like this church or something, and then that's when he gets turned into a gargoyle. We don't see him interacting with Hawkmoth. Hawkmoth is just like, go out into the world. There's a scene.
He comes rolling in as if he's the damn subway.
Yeah, so they're in the subway, and there's this small child. So you hear like these brakes, what you think is brakes squeaking, and there's a kid who goes, "Oh, I think the subway's almost here, Mama."
And then the gargoyle, he's on the track. That's what got me.
He's on the track.
That's what got me.
And he's hunched over like on all fours.
And it's not even like he's walking, y'all. He is not grinding. He's not like...
Well, like the brakes. Like he's grinding the brakes, yeah.
He's like sliding in as if he's the train. And I lost it because all I could think of...
Because he stops right where
I literally just thought of like in the Instagram subway creatures. If you're a New York girly, you would know what we mean. And I literally was like, that's all I could think about was that just like showing up on subway creatures. Like if we had akumatized villains in the city, and you can ask Diane, spit my drink up. I was like, I was like losing it. I was cracking up. I was laughing so hard. It took me forever to get it back together.
It was because the way his body was, where it was kind of like he was on the tracks and he was like grinding the brakes, so to speak, like with
We're
his
gonna have to find a
nails.
clip.
It really kind of reminded me of like Tom and Jerry. It was really funny because
So
he's
funny.
like he's fighting Cat Noir at the time,
Oh
so
my
that's
God.
why he ended up
Traits.
like that.
And honestly, I think that those scenes are what like really make a superhero movie. So when there's like some unsuspecting random kid that's not even a character says something so innocent, and then here comes the villain. What a great trope in superhero movies.
And it's just like a little stop of everyone blinking, like, what do we do? And it's
yeah.
like, hi. And then they just like go back to
Oh my God,
go back
amazing.
to fighting.
Amazing.
It was great. So we have that big fight scene, and then you see them in the montage, of course, like fighting some other monsters, everything's good. And then we get to like this sort of final battle, kind of like the climax of the film, where Hawkmoth is like, oh, you guys think you've got me? Well, I'm gonna just like akumatize myself. And he just suddenly has like a surge of random power. Like I said, in the film, we don't know why they have their powers when they're supervillains, what's the reasoning, what their names are, because they don't interact with Hawkmoth. So he basically just gets like these souped up powers, and then suddenly Paris is on fire. Everything is burned to the ground.
It was like if you looked away and then you looked back, it would be like, if you seen that GIF from Community where like
GIF?
he like,
yeah.
Oh my God, where like walks in with the pizza and then it's like fire everywhere and he's like, what? That's what it felt like.
That's what it felt like. And it is really funny because it's another little comedic relief moment where Ladybug and Cat Noir had like kind of like an argument or something, and so she's like going out to fight Hawkmoth and like trying to fix the city, and he's just laying in bed like a moody boy this time. So in the film, their ring goes off like a back signal when they're being called upon, and he's just like, no, I'm good. And Plag's like, no, dude, look out the window. And he does, and then Paris is just burned to a crisp.
It's wild. It's really
And mind you, before this, in the film, we have not seen Ladybug fix Paris when she fights these battles, which is a major part of the show, and my favorite part of the show, because I hate when superheroes make messes and then they don't clean them up. So we get this big battle. Hawkmoth is like fighting them and everything. There's that funny part where Cat Noir accidentally cataclysms the Eiffel Tower. And it's so Parisian. The Eiffel Tower falls into the Seine. And so does everybody else. And then we kind of have this Little Mermaid moment where Cat Noir is like unconscious. Ladybug dives in after him into the Seine and like pulls him out, where there's like lava like streaming into the,
it's very dramatic,
into the river. And then they get on this like Titanic looking like raft, like don't let go Jack kind of thing. And then that's when Hawkmoth shows up. Somehow Ladybug gets knocked out onto another piece of like scrap metal. So it's just Hawkmoth and Cat Noir on their little floaty, and Cat Noir, half of his mask has been burned off.
And if it's all you need to now notice that it's your dang son.
Apparently, one eye is all you need.
That's all you need.
So in the film, identities are revealed. As a spoiler, you guys, like we said, this film is trying to encompass the entire plot line, whereas the series were still...
Yeah.
Because Master Fu doesn't say, when he comes and kind of gives them the breakdown in the beginning of the film, once they get their powers, he doesn't say, hey, you can't reveal your identities or it will be catastrophic.
He doesn't.
So theoretically, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. For some reason, they don't tell each other throughout the movie, but, technically, it's okay. So Hawkmoth suddenly is looking around and being like, what did I do? All this destruction. He goes back to normal, and he's just like super disheveled. He's got like a 5 o'clock shadow. He's got like a scrape going down his eye. Like he's looking like Harry Potter.
He
went
looks
through
like he's
it,
been shipwrecked. Like he's
been through some stuff, and he suddenly, like supposedly sees the error of his ways.
Yeah, because he's like,
yeah, I feel like they don't really fight him that much.
No. So this Hawkmoth is different from our series Hawkmoth.
Yes.
Because when our series Hawkmoth sees it's his son, he's like, perfect. This Hawkmoth, he like, he's like on his knees. He's like, oh, what am I doing? And
yeah. And he even, before he de-transforms, before he realizes that it's his son, he takes Ladybug's earrings.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we're like, oh my gosh, oh no. So all he needs is the ring. And so he's pulling the ring off of Cat Noir and is about to get it off, and that's when he kind of wakes up and reacts. And then that's when the mask gets kind of like half revealed.
Yeah. And Ladybug sees this also.
Which I will say, I will say it's dramatic. But for some reason, Cat Noir / Adrian does not see Marinette, even though they're literally just like next to each other, but on different floating.
Well, he's a little busy finding out that his dad's a supervillain.
Yeah, I guess it is kind of smoky. I'll do that. But basically, so when Hawkmoth takes the earrings off her, she does detransform. So she's seen all of this as Marinette, not as Ladybug. So really, if Cat Noir had just kind of like leaned to the left a bit, he really would have seen her.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
He doesn't. He just looks at his dad and he's like, "You gotta let her go, man."
Yeah, basically, he's like, "Why did I did this for you, son?" And he's like, "Dad,
time to hang it up,
bud." And what it is confusing, that battle is confusing because it just happens all at once, and yet this movie it's almost 2 hours, but yet everything is just all over the place. So I was a little confused because it's kind of like the earrings / like just Tiki herself zip back to Marinette.
I don't know.
Like she doesn't take them back from him. Suddenly it zips back and they're back on her, so she can retransform when she goes and like fixes him and everything. And then she is able to like, so instead of having a lucky charm to fix Paris, she gets this like lightning bolt of energy inside her, and she does this magic trick basically where she like points and it just like fixes what she's pointing at. It is a bit corny, but that's how she fixes Paris.
Amazing.
So he technically doesn't see her because she's able to
somehow
get the Miraculous back on her ears and retransform. And then Paris is just suddenly safe.
And then
they
with all teen movies, we gotta end it with a dance.
We have a dance. We have a ball.
A ball.
A ball, supposedly.
A masquerade.
A masquerade ball that Marinette got the courage to ask Adrian to. And he said no.
He said no. Yeah, he was being a bit of a moody boy. When she asked him out the dance, he was like...
And since we only got one montage with them, I thought it was very forward of her.
It was. And that's why I do think the Marinette here is a little like tamer, a little bolder.
Yeah. But it kind of defeats the purpose of having a Chloe because she kind of sees that happen and then she's just offended. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't really do anything about it. She doesn't care. So Marinette gets to the ball and Chloe's just like, "What are you doing here, Baker girl?"
Baker girl or Marinella?
Yeah. Okay, Marinella was so weird. And then she kind of stands up to Chloe and Chloe's like, "Oh my God." Mm-hmm. Like, but it just didn't seem as like good of a moment because we didn't really get the reasoning behind Chloe hating her so much as it wasn't as good of a. It was like, you got the mean girl dynamic, but like, why is she picking on her?
It'd be like if we didn't know anything about Miraculous, I'd be like, what is her role in this movie?
So the overall vibe of this movie is so much happens, but yet nothing at all. Like it feels like it was all fluff. And so we get to the very end, which is the most controversial and confusing and strange and IDK sort of scene out of the whole series. Whole movie, whole series, whole everything.
Is it snowing in this scene? Am I tripping? It is.
It is.
Because there's snow.
Because I said, why doesn't...
shape of a heart on the tree.
On the tree. And I said, why does she not have a jacket?
Yes.
She has a beautiful dress.
Gorgeous dress. Unlike Rose. No offense to Rose. She was terribly underdressed for this
We did get like a little... Because they're like extras,
Yeah. Everyone's wearing like these gorgeous like stunning ball gowns. And Rose like is in like a short...
pink
like sundress
and they're all wearing flats.
But anyway,
Marinette's outfit is pretty
gorgeous red ball gown.
It almost looks like the back of it has like wings almost,
and her hair is like
thing.
Up really pretty.
And she even, I think they did show a scene where like she was like designing it, so we do get the whole like she's creative, she likes stuff. I don't even know if I can properly describe the scene because it's so confusing.
She's walking in slow motion. I remember you making a note about it.
Yes.
Like, why is she walking so slow?
Like, girl.
She's walking in slow motion. It's snowing in Paris again, which is like it has not been snowing this entire time.
They're outside and she's walking in slow motion because she's walking towards Adrian, but it's not like they're right outside where the ball is taking place. They're like just somewhere
in small town Paris, somewhere else.
Yeah, they're back in small town Paris.
And she says,
and she finds him.
Cat
and I'm
Noir.
like,
She calls him Cat Noir. She doesn't call him Adrian.
because since it's a masquerade, he has the mask on.
Yes.
Was it even a masquerade? I don't recall seeing anybody else in a mask.
Yeah, Chloe was in a gold mask.
Chloe was in a, okay, maybe I was just tripping.
Yeah, I think you're tripping. Because she was like asking for Adrian though, like where is he? And they're like, oh, I think he's in the back. And then she goes in the back, but then she calls him Cat Noir because she knows his identity. So then he's like, oh, what? And he like turns around and he does his whole Adrian. Dude, if only a boy would look at me like that. My gosh. He literally looks at her like he's never looked at a woman in his entire life. So this.
But at the same time, he's in love with Ladybug, not Marinette.
I know, but he goes, Marinette? You know, like that.
Yeah. So she walks up to him.
She takes the mask off his face.
Which is a different mask. His mask, it makes sense now why his mask was sparkly when he was Cat Noir, because this is for the ball. Yeah. So it's just a plain black mask. Right. So she takes the mask. It shows how funny, how it's kind of like making a funny note that like, yes, we understand that the only reason they can't tell each other apart is because of a mask. Because she's in a totally different outfit. Her hair is totally different. But she takes this mask off him when he goes Marinette.
Which is not even the Ladybug mask.
It's not. It's a Cat Noir mask, or like a black mask, but I guess kind of Cat Noir. And she puts on, she goes, or you can call me Ladybug. And she looks up at him and he's like, oh, OMG, it is you.
Okay, y'all. This man is crying and
he's got tears.
It's not even like he's crying. It's like he's smiling big and wide and tears is just pouring down the man's face.
It's like one shot, he's just kind of like got wet eyes, and then the next shot,
like it's really raining down.
It's like they're getting married.
It's as if, I know. And honestly, I laughed. I felt bad, but I laughed because I was like, Adrian, baby, why are you so emotional? Like, if this was happened in the series, maybe I would get it because it has been such a slow burn.
It has been and he has kind of been like, do I like Marinette? Do I like Ladybug?
So if you found out they're the same person, then it would be. I could see him being emotional and crying. But in this movie, I was like, buddy,
it's like, buddy, you were all Ladybug.
This is a lot.
If anything, I'd be kind of turned off. I'd be like, oh, Marinette. Like I'd have some questions.
You have to wrestle, and that's what the thing is. You got to wrestle.
He does not wrestle.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, I've never thought of Marinette that way before. You have to wrestle a little bit.
He does not wrestle at all.
Anyway,
and so he just is just like, oh. I kind of like how she was bold, be like, you could call me Ladybug.
Yeah, she's very bold in this.
And so then suddenly they're just like, they walk towards each other.
The tension is palpable, friends.
And then she's got her hands on his neck and his hands on her waist.
Yeah, like they're about to
dance. And then they lean in and they're like an inch apart and then it ends. Boop. That's it. That's it. Goodbye. That's it. I have so many questions. I mean, the kiss, I think we deserved one. Yes. But also the whole, like, I would have been like, I'm sorry, how do you know I was Cat Noir? How are you married? Like, I would have some questions
before the kid, like, something.
I'd be like, are you cold? Do you want my jacket?
Oh my goodness, you know what? One more musical number. Let's push it another 5 minutes.
I would have loved a dancing sequence where she would have been like, can I have this dance? And they dance, snow falls.
Can I have this dance? It did give a little High School Musical at points.
It did. Yeah. It had a little breaking free moment. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, like they were soaring and flying. But that's not where the movie ends. We have one last scene at the end where we hear Gabriel saying like, Natalie, this is only for you to know. And remember, she goes down into like the basement of their mansion underground.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like it's like some kind of Marvel end credits kind of shit. It's just, she's like, you got it, I won't tell anyone kind of thing. Like it's reeling her in, which is great because in the series she's like an evil sidekick at first. And then all of a sudden we see Emily, the mom, just on a bed of roses or some sort of flower.
Some sort of coffin-y type thing.
I feel like it was at least slightly better than the series where they have her in this clear Snow White, like, experimental tube.
I don't know. It was still really creepy. Like, if I were, like, a 9-year-old watching this, I'd be like, what is going on?
Well, I think they would get away with it because she's so pretty and ethereal looking in the face. Like, so it's like she just looks like she's taking a nap.
Okay.
Like, maybe if she was, like, ugly, like, we'd be like, all right, but, like, the flowers if they were, like, dead flowers, but, like, it's kind of like, she's just taking a little nap, a little eternal nap, waiting for her prince to kiss her, We got the dwarves looking after her. It's okay. And then it ends. So it doesn't end ambiguous because you think Hawkmoth has given up his ways because he tells his son, like, I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
whatever. There's no relinquishing the miraculous, though. Like, he's still got it, you know?
Yeah.
So at the end, it's kind of like, oh,
I'm gonna come back.
do you hope that, I think they're definitely going to make a second movie. Do you hope that they do that? Like, would you?
Yeah. I'll watch another movie.
Yeah. What do you want?
Especially if it's a musical again.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, I'd be scared it wouldn't be as good.
I don't even care.
These are really, they were
really good songs, y'all. We were making breakfast this morning listening to the soundtrack.
I will, really as little grew up Christian girlies, the tune that like just keeps kind of getting repeated, there's like just like a little melody, and I think it's in the Stronger Together song.
Yeah.
It's like this melody, and it does sound almost exactly the same as a certain worship song that we just won't get into it. But when we were watching it, I will admit, Gabby and I watched this at like 1 a.m. because that's when we film and get any work done, obviously.
Yes, so sorry if you see me yawning at all in this, it's just because it's currently 1:49 in the morning.
Yeah, maybe this shouldn't be the one you decide to watch on YouTube. Check us out on YouTube, though. Like, subscribe, watch us yawn. It was still beautiful, but that was the only thing where I was like, I can't unhear it.
Yeah, once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
What would you like to have different as a second film, though?
A different perspective than Marinette.
I would like a little more...
Yeah.
Because technically they know each other's identities.
Yeah.
So to me, I feel like a second movie can't happen, but they did leave it open to one.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Master Fu needs to be like, shouldn't have done that. You know, because they didn't even, in this movie, they didn't even mention the other Miraculouses.
Yeah.
So I feel like a second movie, that's what it would be about.
Maybe we could follow Kagami.
Kagami, you know?
She wasn't even in this one.
She wasn't even in it. I just realized.
Yeah. Kagami,
we saw Luca, we saw Luca, we saw Julika, we saw Rose, we saw Kim, we saw Milan, and her boyfriend, who I can't even remember. You know, we saw Sabrina. Sabrina had like a low-key role in it, you know? Because she was with Chloe all the time.
Yeah.
But we didn't see Kagami.
Yeah.
Not even as an extra.
I didn't see her.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, justice for Kagami.
Justice.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see how they do a second film without making it too much like the series.
Yeah, I think that's probably why I just want like a completely different, because like the universe is so expanded at this point, and it would be cool to go like deeper, I think, into certain characters, you know, like give them their own movie.
I know you were saying how you would have really loved this movie to be a prequel, like completely like before,
like way before, like
or
it really is her first day at this school. Yeah, no one knows her.
That's why I was really excited in the beginning when we actually got a little more of a background and a flashback to Gabriel, like right from the beginning.
Yeah.
But then for it to like end with them finding out who each other are and having a happy ending and him kind of like supposedly learning his ways by the end of the movie, I just felt like that's too much history and storyline to go through in like a 90-minute film.
Yeah. I think that especially if it was just like stuck with the prequel and it would have just been about her like becoming Ladybug and the whole process of that.
And him becoming Hawkmoth. I'm sorry, I need to know about the villains.
Yeah, maybe we didn't really need that much Cat Noir. Like maybe it could have just, well, no, we do need Cat Noir. I think they would.
I feel like we didn't get any Cat Noir.
Y'all, so sorry.
Well, we didn't really get any Adrian. We got a bit of Cat Noir, but only when he was with Ladybug. The thing is, like, I also didn't understand the time frame of everything. It felt like they had been fighting crime or whatever for months at a time with the montage, but at the same time, I felt like it had been a week. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I would like to have a little more structure if they made a second one.
Yeah.
A little more story, a little more structure. Still crank out. You know, we got Tiki singing. Give us a Plague solo number, you know?
Yeah.
Did he sing it? I don't think he sang it.
I don't know. I don't remember.
No.
Probably not then.
I want the song to be titled Cheese and Farts.
Amazing.
Because that's kind of all Plague really is. Cheese, farts, and bad guys, you know?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cheese, farts, and bad guys.
Yeah. I'm really sad for Miraculous to be over for now.
Yeah, it really treated us well.
I feel like
it was a good show to start off on.
Yeah, I'm scared that we've just become a Miraculous podcast.
I know.
Because there's still so much we want to do and talk about.
I know. Well, we're going to have to.
And we have the outfits for it.
We got the fits. Yeah, today we're rocking our red and black for Ladybug.
Yeah. You made me this just super adorable friendship bracelet.
I did.
And it says "Watch Like a Kid" on it. And it's like got the colors. It's got even, I don't even know how you found red butterflies. We already have some ideas rolled up our sleeve for for next. So please stay tuned. But
Yeah.
if you have any suggestions,
Please.
should we go younger audience?
Younger,
More
older?
teen stuff, like something not animated maybe? We were thinking maybe getting into some movies.
Yeah, what are y'all like?
Because, those Oscar movies and stuff was kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm
super excited. I think it was great. I mean, I'm so proud of us. We did so good.
We were pretty... Listen, y'all. It will get better as we keep going.
I love how every episode we're like, maybe you just watch the show for yourself, even though we were literally
watch it so you don't have to.
Or I think maybe we should change the slogan to "We watch it so you want to." I do think that the movie is good to watch on your own, but you can with your kid, but you can also grab yourself an adult juice box if you need it. It does make it funnier at times.
Yes. Again, I spit my drink up, but that gargoyle came with her ruse in it.
Yes. Highly suggest having a juice box beforehand to make the storyline not matter as much.
Yes.
But I really enjoyed it. I
really liked it. I see what I think if I were a child, I would be losing my mind at this. Yes.
And we so appreciate you listening to us as far as this, or if this is the first and only episode you listen to. But if your kid is obsessed with Miraculous, but like you said, Gabby, if you're that's 25 episodes for and there's 5 seasons.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
You're a parent or a caregiver, or you've got cousins or something, you don't have time.
Cousins.
You got cousins. I don't know. A child. You met a child once on the street, but you're busy. Just watch the movie.
Yeah.
It's an hour and a half. You can honestly scrub through parts of it.
Yeah. It's really not bad.
Yeah. We watched through it painstakingly.
Yeah.
But you can scrub through parts and it's fine. And you'll be fine. But the one kid you met the one time in your life will be really happy that you know at least who Ladybug and Cat Noir are.
Yes.
And you'll also know that they love little treats. And like we did with our first episode. Was it our first? Maybe the second?
We got macarons.
We've got little
right?
red ones. I think we've already gone over that. We're not French. So we have these little bakery treats. You know what they are. They're adorable little sandwiches of delight. So just like we did in the beginning, we're going to cheers at the end. This isn't the end of us, though.
No,
hopefully
not.
We're
returning for season 2.
We're returning, so keep listening, keep watching, keep sending us in.
Yes.
Whatever you want at Watch Like a Kid.
Literally anywhere.
Tell us what you thought of that gargoyle, because he was kind of throwing his back out, too. He had his moment. I'm not going to lie. Tell us what you think about disheveled hawk moth. Let us...
Yeah, you think he's kind of hot?
Come on, guys.
Hot or not?
Hot or not? For an animated dad?
Oh my goodness, we had come full circle because I think was it the first episode where we talked about animated characters that we had a crush on?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll change mine. Mine's now, movie version of disheveled
Gabriel
Agreste. Although in the series when he has his little dancing number.
Yeah, that gave her the ick. I'm trying to make her do that dance for a TikTok, but I don't think she's gonna do it.
No. Okay, until next time.
Bye-bye, little butterflies. Cheers.
That's not a unicorn. That's just a pony with pink hair.